GrindMaster, absolute engineering.
It is an honor and pleasure to talk on the ISSDA platform. I'm a part of ISSDA and having developed several technologies in metal finishing. The metal finishing topic is close to my heart, and I think this is a great opportunity to share my experience with all of you. With this, I would start with the contents. My presentation will have these long content list. I made this purposely so that the flow comes with the theory first and then the applications of the theory in terms of the machine. I need to give little introduction to GrindMaster Group, though all of you know GrindMaster. GrindMaster was in fact started in 1984 with buffing and polishing machines for cookware. And then subsequently, we developed a very wide range of machines. And then we are also into the abrasives, because when we developed the machines, we could see that the end result on the machine is not the same if we used the abrasives available at that time. I'm talking about 1984, 1992 kind of period. So we collaborated with VSN Germany for getting good quality abrasive belts, and it was really a positive step in our learning and in the growth of our company. I will talk about it little later, but I truly believe that the process is extremely important in all the polishing machines. So whenever we have any new application, we first look at what process is going to achieve the good result, and then only we can configure the machine to suit to take care of the process and then suit the productivity requirements. So we have pioneered centerless belt grinding and polishing in 1992. Till then, all these machines, in fact, cookware buffing or centerless belt grinding, they were all imported at a phenomenal duty of 40%. I'm talking about 90s. Now the situation has changed so much. But that time, there was no choice to imports. And so when we developed all these machines, I think we have helped Indian customers become Atma-Nirbhar by sourcing the machines from within India. Very quickly, from starting from a garage with a very, very small saving, we are now a global company having our subsidiaries, our own subsidiaries in China, Europe, and also in USA. We are mostly selling the advanced machines in these countries. As you know that the very standard machines, it is not easy to sell in China, but what we are selling in China is very high technology micro finishing machines. I will very quickly touch upon micro finishing in my presentation just because it is a part of finishing. So now we come to metal finish applications. What we did, I thought it is worth sharing this because each application we have done up till now, and so round tube, square, bars, flat surfaces, coils. Then we have cookware, kitchenware, pressure cooker, drums, pans, then lot of railing and architectural applications. These are the main applications of decorative metal finishing. Now we will quickly touch upon the processes and definitions, which was requested in fact by ISSDA that I talk about the processes and what is a metal finish definitions. So metal finishing has indeed multiple names, and all these names are synonymous, like but the cause is common, that is finishing. So belt grinding, abrasive disc grinding, lenishing, buffing, polishing, lapping, micro finishing, film polishing, and many other local languages, like people say charak maro, glued wheel is called as some emery marna hai. So, like there are multiple languages which are typically used for metal finishing. So there are basically in any metal finishing, the main processes are: first is grinding and then is polishing. The grinding is meant for knocking off the peaks. So as you all know, the surface finish is all peaks and valleys. Any surface has the peaks and valley structure, as you can see in the sketch there. And in grinding, what we do is, because the peaks are too high, we first have to knock the peaks off. And so the grinding process knocks the peaks, and it creates smaller height peaks, so to say. So the any uh, polishing process, you have to look at the input surface, and depending on how deep are the peaks and valleys, you have to first use the abrasive, which also creates another scratches. Every grinding and polishing operation creates its own scratch marks, which are supposed to be smaller and shorter than the previous ones. Only then the grinding will be effective. So every grit creates a scratch, which is removed by the finer grit which follows afterwards. And after this grinding, then we use the polishing process, which uses the buffing wheel or the sisal wheel. And here the melting of the peaks happens, and the material literally flows into the valleys. So under the pressure, the material flows into the valleys, and that is how you get a very nice surface after polishing. Surface finish improvement types and purposes. So here, I must say that these are very clear cut two different purposes. And since GrindMaster is into both, let me say here that no other company in the world is into all these kinds of finishing technologies. All our competitors from outside India, they are either into micro finishing, or into the cookware buffing, or into the tube grinding and polishing. GrindMaster under one umbrella is also is into both, and not only this, also into deburring. So all the processes related to the surface, we are working on it, and we have acquired the knowledge of that. Aesthetic finish means visual impression. So it is not measured in terms of RA values. Sometimes it is measured when you want to make, for example, a hard chrome or a hydraulic piston which you need to finish. But the applications like stainless steel fabrication, cookware, bathroom fittings, etc., the purpose of for aesthetic. And engineered finish, what we call it, is for the performance of the engine. So it is mostly done for the engine and transmission parts, also for hydraulics and bearings. We are into all this. Not only this, we also improve the geometrical parameters of a surface by uh, engineered finish processes. So in aesthetic finish, because current our most of our attendants today are aesthetic finish, so I will mostly focus on that. Aesthetic finish can be measured with the gloss meter. So a gloss can be measured, and there are some standards to measure all these kind of things. So high gloss, medium gloss, dull finish, you have all heard of these terms. So this is one parameter to measure aesthetic finish. Apart from simply looking at it, like all of us do, we put the tube light on and we see how the surface, how the reflection of the tube light comes in the surface which we have polished. So this is a practical way to see it. There are various kinds of finishes which I think all of you know. The 2B, number 4, hairline. Hairline is very popular outside India, but mostly the bright finishing is most popular, and now satin finishing is catching up in India. A very common question asked to me is whether my machine can make a mirror finish, and the answer is no, because any mechanical polishing process cannot create this absolute mirror finish. So it is done by the chemical process. I think most of you know about it, but I thought I should mention this. Engineering finish is what measures the various values of finish. In fact, on a job drawing of an engine part, there is an essay written about the surface finish, and we have to achieve all those parameters. And that is why the process and the tooling plays a very important role. So there is a TP ratio, there is RA. You will see here that you can see the peaks and valleys in the left hand this chart, and you will see that the RA value of both these surfaces is the same, whereas the performance of the engine is better if of this surface, the surface which has the peaks which are flattened up.